Krishna, Krishna. What has Krishna done for me? Everything. He has given me everything. The night I found out my boyfriend passed away, I was completely alone. I had no idea where to turn. I myself contemplated taking my own life. It was... You really can't... I'm not even going to try to put it into words. And there was this moment where I never experienced a moment where it was so silent. It was the whole world around me stopped. I sat down in my sacred space in this moment, and I felt moved to open the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know exactly why I knew how to do this, or I knew to do this. I don't know how I knew to do this. It had to have been embedded in me somewhere. It's probably embedded within everyone. But I surrendered. I didn't know what it meant to surrender unto him. And that was the first time he spoke to me. When I had just lost my everything. He saved me. I'm not saying it was easy, but it is the greatest thing I could have possibly done. And why would you want it to be easy? Krishna has made me stronger than I could ever possibly imagine myself to be. He took me from the darkest form of suffering. And he freed me from it. When I pushed everyone away, every single person that I knew and that I loved, and I completely isolated myself alone in upstate New York, he did not let me be alone. I gave myself every day. Every day. There was no one else I would talk to, no one else I could turn to, but I could turn to him. No one else knew how to comfort me, but he did. I went from believing in God to absolutely falling in love with Krishna. I want whoever is watching this to understand the kind of suffering he pulled me out of. I'm going to share this with you because whoever you are watching this, just know that just know that you can get through anything. And whatever you're going through right now, I promise, he will not put you through anything that you cannot handle. I lost my boyfriend to suicide. I lived with him. I never would have guessed it. We spent 3 beautiful years together. I never would have thought. I think it was one of the most terrifying things that could happen to someone, because one day he was there and then suddenly he was gone and I just never saw him again. I would ask myself, how did you not know you're with him every day? I blamed myself. I just kept wondering what I could have done. What did I do that wasn't enough? I experienced what is called CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I would first like to state that Krishna is so merciful that I actually do not remember the first 6 months after losing Gregory. I will never have to. I have read my journal entries. It's okay. I received the news about Greg over a telephone call. And then that night, I ended up being home alone. It was just us two that lived in our cute little apartment. For almost 3 months, I relived not just the memory of receiving the news, but the feeling that came with it. It was as if I was being told the news over and over again, and I just kept reliving it. I developed a fear of sleep. I looked at my bed and I couldn't believe I had to sleep in it alone, because I was used to sleeping next to him. And so I would do everything I could to not sleep, and I would stay up at night and just rock and rock for about 3 months straight. I could only talk about Greg, and my brain just went Greg, 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 Greg. I would not go outside for weeks at a time. I talked to no one. I starved myself. I went from about 140 pounds to 108. I spent more time laying down than standing up for about 1.5 years. I could only watch movies or shows that I had seen before, and I would watch the same ones over and over and over and over again, because anything new it felt impossible. Everything felt impossible. I had completely lost my sense of self. But no matter how badly I suffered, I for some reason kept coming back to Krishna and chanting that Hare Krishna mantra. And I would come back to it more and more and more. I remember one day when I couldn't sit up. Sometimes I would stay in bed for so long that this is a lot of information, this is kind of personal, but I would hold in my pee so long that it would literally physically hurt. I just couldn't get out of bed. But one day, I asked Krishna to sit me up. I said, Krishna, please give me the strength to sit up. And he did. And he did every single time I remembered to ask him. He took me from that to the woman that sits before you right here. He completely transformed me. He didn't just heal me from the loss of Greg. He healed everything. And you know what's crazy? What I really had to do, what it really was, is that I genuinely wanted to know and love him. And that's what Krishna wants. You can't love what you don't know. But if you sit down with him with genuine inquiry, he will speak to you. There is not a single prayer he does not listen to, he does not answer. There is not a single question that I cannot ask him that he won't show me an answer to. When I felt like I was nothing, he taught me how to become his devotee. And now I wouldn't change anything. It was all worth it. There's no one in this entire world that Krishna is not for. He is not, it's not about a religion. Krishna gifted us a mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra. Chant it. It is for everyone. For everyone. I will speak about the mantra and how it, what it did for me. But this is especially for people who are in pain, who are suffering. There is a way. There really is. And it's your way. It's the way that you find with your own loving personal relationship with Krishna. Yours and his. Thank you so much for listening to me. Krishna is very precious to me. So I had to speak of him because I can't imagine doing anything else. I am surrounding you with a warm, loving hug. And Hare Krishna.